The Executive Director of Northland Caps, and today my video I want to walk you through setting up your Microsoft Office 365 account, which you get for free because you are a Northland Caps student associate. So after this video, I want you to go check your personal email. You'll have an email there from Northland Caps. It might have Allison Clemens' name on it because she's the one that's going to be sending it to you. And it's going to contain your username, your email address, and as well as a temporary password that you can use to log in for the first time. So the purpose of this video then is to make sure that even though you'll have written instructions in the email that walk you through this, that you're able to see what it's like to log in for the first time with your username and temp password, what it's like to update to a new password and authenticate that password with another device, and then really just give you a chance to explore the 365 online environment and maybe encourage you to install some apps on your phone or something like that so you can easily communicate and collaborate with us in any environment. So with that being said, again, you have written instructions coming in that email, but just to show you what's going to happen, you're going to go to login.microsoftonline.com and it's going to ask you to log in with an email address. And this is where you type in your northlandcaps.org email address. Okay. On the next screen, it's going to ask you to enter a password and you'll type in the temporary password that was sent to you in that email from Allison. Once you have that, then you're going to update your password. Now, allow me for just a second to get off on a tangent about passwords. What we want is something that is easy to remember but difficult to guess. And the problem is that kids have the tendency, and really people, not just kids, people have a tendency to use something that's really common, like password, right? Or QWERTY, or an anniversary date, or a birth date, or Smithville Warriors, or whatever. And we do not want you to do anything that is easy to guess, whether it's easy to guess from a person or easy to guess from a computer that's like set up to try to hack accounts, okay? So in order to keep your password strong, here's a suggestion for you. And in the end, it's your decision. You set up the password, okay? But we want it, again, to be easy to remember but difficult to guess. So here's an idea. Ready? Take a phrase with at least 8 words. This is my favorite sandwich in the world. Okay, and if you take the first letter of each word, now we have something that, like, memory-wise, you'll be able to remember. TIMFSITW. This is my favorite sandwich in the world. Okay, and then steps 3, 4, and 5 say, okay, now in order to meet certain password requirements like special characters and capital letters and things like that, take a letter and make it uppercase. Take a letter like an I and change it to a 1. Take an S and change it into a $sign, and all of a sudden by step 5, you have an 8-character password that's going to be easy to remember but really difficult for anybody to guess. And then step 6 is even a suggestion if you're like me and you have 150 different websites with 150 different passwords and you never remember which password is which one and you're constantly having to look them up or write them down or something, which is terrible, by the way. If you're writing down passwords, that's a bad idea. What you can do then is you can take that same 8 characters and just add a letter to the end for the Facebook. Sorry, to the end for the type of site. So in this example in 6, they just added a B to the end because it's the banking password now. And maybe you add an F to the front for Facebook. Or maybe Northland Caps, you have the same 8 characters from 5, but you have an N at the beginning and a C at the end, right? And you can now have one password that's tweaked 100 different ways for 100 different websites. And now it's easy to remember for you, but difficult for others to guess. That's just an idea. Okay, now, so off my soapbox, let's go back on the train and start moving forward. You've just logged in and you've changed your password, and it's going to ask for more information so you don't lose access to your account. And really, to authenticate and keep your account protected, I would recommend that you either use your phone or a personal email in order to verify your account when somebody tries to log in. In this case, I always prefer the phone number with the text message. It'll text message you a code, you type in the code, and you're good to go. Okay, so one last thing to think about, just to consider, is if you're like me, you have a personal Google account. I have a school Google account that I use for collaborating with Google school districts, not us. We're Office 365. And now I'm going to be talking about adding yet another account, right, for something. And I struggle with knowing which profile is logged in. Which one am I using at a time? Why can't I access this document? Oops, sorry, I was on my wrong profile. I was on my personal profile at the time. You know, that kind of stuff happens all the time. So you may want to consider, because you as a student are now going to have like your personal account and you're going to have your school account, and now you're going to add a third one with Northland Caps. That's 3 accounts that you have to juggle and profiles you have to switch between, you may want to consider using a different browser for Northland Caps than you do for anything else. So like, let's say you use Chrome for everything at school because it's a Google School District. Why not use Firefox for Northland Caps? And that way you know that when you open up Firefox, it's all your Northland Caps stuff all the time. You never have to switch profiles or worry about where things are being saved. And if you do that, then you can click that box that says don't show this again, and you can click next, and you're off. You're off and working in the Office 365 environment. Just an idea there. Okay, so done with the PowerPoint and screen caps. Now let me show you what it looks like. Okay, this is the Office 365 home screen and what you see whenever you log in. Okay, and we have some apps that are up here. These are all web-based apps, which is really nice, like Outlook is your email. OneDrive is the equivalent of Google Drive. It's your online cloud storage for all of your documents. You have Word and Excel and PowerPoint, and even, let me show you this, okay? I know you guys are used to Google Drive, and you're like, well, I don't have Word on my computer because I have a Chromebook. I'm a Platte County student. We have Chromebooks here, and we don't have access to Word. Well, you do because you're an Office 365 organization with us. So if I click on Word and I open up a blank document, now notice that it's going to load up a web-based, I mean, it's the same thing as a Google Doc, guys. You can type it in. You can say this document will auto-save, right? I'm just going to type that out, and you'll notice up at the top it says it's saving, and there you go, it's saved. Saved automatically to my OneDrive account, so I can access it from any device. I can open it up on my phone if I wanted to. I can open it up on somebody else's laptop if I log in. I can share it with other people. We can make comments. We can do all sorts of things. Anything you can do with Google Docs or what you're used to there, you can do in the Office 365 environment. And when I'm ready, by the way, to go back to Office 365 home screen, I click the grid. I can get to some of the apps here, or I can just go to Office 365 and see all the apps. And they all work that way. Okay? Get used to using this. In fact, I set this up on my home screen because I use it so often. You can see all of the different apps that we have available. There's a ton of them, guys. I mean, there's obviously the standard ones like Word and PowerPoint and Excel, okay, but we might use Planner this year in order to work together on projects, or you might use your OneNote notebook, or you might end up going into expect a lot of Teams, because that's how we communicate in this environment, is using Microsoft Teams. It's like chat and Skype and video conferencing all rolled into one, okay? That's the Office 365 environment. I encourage you to go explore once you get logged in and see what it looks like and look at different products that are out there. Once you learn the names, the rest of it's just figuring out where to click and how to access things that you already know how to do in other platforms. Guys, have a great day. If you have any issues at all, don't hesitate to contact the office. Thank you very much.